Welcome to the genre that you all been waiting for, or maybe you haven't. But today we're gonna dive into extraction shooters because there's three bangers that are coming out. I'm super excited about this genre because I do believe that we're on the golden age that is going to begin of the premium AAA titles that are coming out in the extraction shooter genre. So lock in for a deep dive into extraction shooters and the best ones, the top three that are coming out. Plus, at the end, I'm going to reveal what I think is the greatest. And guess what? It's not any of these three. The greatest one that already exists. So let's get into it. First and first, what is an extraction shooter and why do you care about it? Well, first of all, I've been playing shooters for over 30 years. And it's been pretty much the same thing: team deathmatch, a team versus a team, and kind of straightforward. And that's great and all, but it isn't as special and important as something new and different. We've seen games like the Battle Royale scene shake up the shooter scene. And I do believe that more games need to do this, creating extra genres within the shooter element and do something new and different and exciting and interesting. And I definitely love battle royale games because of that. Doesn't mean that I think that, you know, one is better than the other guys, but the point is to have that is a great option in my opinion. And extraction shooters are basically putting you in a world, whether it's a match of a map with other teams, multiple teams, so 3 to 5 or more teams all in the same map, finding some loot and trying to extract with it. It's kind of the general breakdown on extraction shooters. Now, there's other games that are kind of like open worlds and they have different elements to them. That is also fun, exciting, and interesting. So nobody's going to be mad at one or the other, whichever you're interested in, let's do it. But that's the general breakdown. Now, we haven't had a major mainstream success when it comes to extraction shooters. There's been a lot that have come and tried, whether it was Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Escape from Tarkov, who's still relevant, but they haven't been in the mainstream world. They've been only on PC and they've been in beta for like 500 years. So, wow. But as far as this genre right now, we're at the tipping point where three games are releasing very soon, close to each other, and the community will decide and people will get put on to like, well, this is exciting. The reason I love it is because it's one of the most intense feelings. You find something amazing, you want to escape, but you're dealing with multiple teams, or you're pushing a team, or you're getting attacked, and you're trying to avoid all the extra drama that's going on. It's exciting and interesting. But the truth is, there's plenty of different elements in the game that make it super exciting and rewarding if you do get out. And that's something that's very cool. Instead of it being a plain regular shooter, which we know we've had before all these years, doesn't do the justice anymore because you're so used to it. And it's still fun, but it's nothing like a whole new experience. And you never know what you're going to get in these extraction shooters. And that's why I love them. It can be one match where you dominate, another match you go through a hard time because somebody came in kitted. You're about to extract, you wipe out two teams, and the third team third parties you, or maybe that's you third partying somebody. It's all possible. Anything is possible. Is an amazing feeling. And so that's what I get out of this game and I'm excited about. And now I want to kind of talk about the three games and give you guys a quick rundown on the differences. I'm not doing a comparison video, by the way, but I just want to show you what they are. So you're watching Marathon. This is from Bungie, the guys who gave you Halo and Destiny. On top of that, they had a game called Marathon 30 years ago. They decided to make an extraction shooter. They thought it was something new and different that people haven't seen before. And it'll be cool to change it up. And so the extraction genre hasn't had this type of mainstream game. And this is kind of one of those that I'm looking at right now. And my prediction is that it will be well received as far as casual play because you're able to revive teammates easily. Anytime they're down, you can just pick them right back up. There's no penalty of them dying and you having to go find a way to revive them. It's going to be automatic revive. So this game can get intense. And there's things to like 18 players in one map, 3v3 PvP with PvE elements also. And so anything can happen. You can get some wild plays, some interesting combat. But as you can see right there, that person's box is on the floor and they can get revived at any time from their teammates. As long as you have one teammate up, you'll be good. And this is why I do think that this will end up somewhat mainstream. Will it be the most popular extraction shooter in the next year? We don't know. Out of these three, I definitely see this having the biggest push within the masses because it's coming to all consoles and it is also very much relevant when it comes to shooters because Bungie does shooters very well. This is all they know. They're sticking to what they're good at, which is shooters. So we'll see how the reception is. And there's a beta, so I'll definitely be updating this channel with some more info. But yeah, it's a super interesting time, and I do give Bungie credit for taking a big risk and doing something that people probably don't believe in right now. But we'll see. And I'll come back to this in a second. But we're going to move on. And we're going to go into what you're looking at right now. A very interesting game, very interesting world, to be honest with you. And this game right here is special. There's some betas going on right now, and I've probably had my hands on this already a little bit, but I want to dive deeper and see what the game is offering. This is called Ark Raiders, okay? And little remains of the world, as you know. There's machines, and they're basically destroying the surface, and the community is forced underground. So it is your job as a raider to get in, get to the surface, and extract, of course, right? That's what the name of the game is. It's an adventure. It's crazy tension in the game, and there's a lot of mystery that's going on. And, you know, scavenging this surface, trying to build a home and trying to, you know, take out all these machines and all this different things, environment that's happening, all the craziness that can be part of it. Super interesting. A lot of key things. You can upgrade your gear and your den and things like that, and it's super interesting. I do think that this game will have an audience because it's just beautiful. It's just visually great, and I love what I see just in the whole environment. There's places to go, places to see. Where should I go? I'm gonna skip forward so you guys can see some of the quick action on this, and you can see them trying to discover something, and they're on a big mission here. This is a walkthrough footage of the developers' footage, not mine, okay? But in here you get to see them trying to scavenge and trying to discover new things to be able to help their people, and you know, this could be you. And that's where this story unfolds. Now, this does have PvE, and there's a lot of PvP as well. And this game has shaped up differently from the original time of what it was. So they have been shaping this into the extraction shooter, and it's super interesting. Again, intense moments, a lot of different things that could happen. And now the question here, again, this studio is not known, and this is their first big AAA game like this that I think can possibly be their greatest. They're called Embark Studios, and it's not that they haven't made games. They made the finals, but this is like their first real ring at it outside of the game, the finals. And so I'm curious on how this will play out when the time comes. You know, as you saw right there, when they took somebody out, there was a flare going in the air. That shows their teammates where they got killed at. And that just allows for other players to get in and get involved in this drama. And so it can become tense, and I mean like extremely tense in the scenarios. And that's what I love about it. You know, it does kind of feel like a little Star Wars-y a little bit, like it's futuristic, but it's ancient. And I don't know what it is about that. Why do we love the retro future in video games? But that's what this game gives me the feel of. And of course, like I said, the atmosphere and the environments are pretty cool. It'll be interesting to get into this. And this is one of those type of games that I'm definitely keeping an eye on. I'm going to be playing these new tech tests and betas, and all the good stuff that they have going on. So I'll give you guys information if I'm allowed to speak more. But this is another big title, in my opinion, that could do something special. Now we're gonna move on to the third and final one that's actually pretty outrageous overall. Okay, these guys right here decided to create an open world experience, but it is a tactical extraction shooter. So it is very much interesting. The world is extreme with some chaotic nature, anomalies that are destroying things. Plus, you have an exoskeleton suit to make you nice and tough into a bad guy out there. Or not a bad guy, a good guy. But you can customize your exo rig, as they call it in the game, and you're capable, of having the advantage with the weather, against enemies, other players, just anomalies, and overall, it's going to be kind of intense, in my opinion. And I did play this one as well. Pretty awesome, and I actually like it a lot. They have mobility. It's kind of one of my favorite things in these shooters nowadays. And this one has some good mobility. A lot of interesting locations. I didn't play everything in the game, of course, right? But it's an interesting world, interesting scenario. You're surviving a broken world. You're trying to stop all this craziness. You're upgrading your exo rig. It's intense. It's intense. And, the question here is, will people enjoy the gameplay and the mechanics? I when I was playing it, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say here, but when I was playing it, I felt pretty good. I didn't think it was the greatest shooter, right? I didn't feel like the gunplay was the best. I think that's one of the most important things, but hopefully this one does pick up. Again, they're still in beta and they're still in alpha, not even, they're in playtesting all this. And it's one of those games I know I'm going to play because the universe is so interesting and there's so much to do. And it's like just an open world game, but with PvP involved. So that is cool to me. And I've been loving that. And that's the thing that I was talking about. Like, I can play a lot of open world games that are good, but where's this open world experience that's dynamic like this? There's not a lot of them out there right now. And so this is kind of where the game gets extreme. And this was a fun thing to try. I tried a little bit of this. Didn't have the best, I was doing tutorials and learning the systems, but I definitely felt like, they're trying to make it dynamic and interesting and different than just every single shooter that you've seen. And that's what I was saying in the beginning, is that this is an extraction shooter, and maybe it's not for you. Out of these three games, which one do you like? Leave in the comment. But maybe it's not for you, and you're not interested in this open world one, and you want something PvP only, which was more on the line of marathon. And that's actually nothing wrong with playing marathon if that's the one that you're feeling the most. I'm interested in all three. I've always been somebody to try out new things and see what type of innovations and interesting aspects they have. And exoskeleton is right up my alley. A lot of cool abilities, a lot of cool attacks, very amazing overall with some of the dynamic elements and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where I stand. Definitely putting this one up there. So until we get a full release of these, my playtest doesn't matter. My opinions don't matter either, because those are just, non-official versions of the game. Sometimes they could take away something. Let's say a gun was super strong for the beta, then they just nerf it. It might not work anymore. So also, you can't rely on betas information when it comes to balancing and some things, but you can get a feel of the game. And that's where we're standing with this. And so before we get into my final breakdown about extraction shooters, I'm going to rank all of these. And I'm going to start off with this one right here. I'm putting this in second place. This is the one I'm excited about. I'm actually partnered with two of the games, and this is one of them. And I have this in second place because I know for a fact I'm gonna be diving into this universe. There's a storyline type of system in here. It's not just a PvP. And so that's what hooked me the most, because I love story games too. And then, of course, that leaves the Arc Raiders as my least favorite. And it's not that it's bad, guys. It's just, I'm not sure yet, right? There's a beta coming up. I'm going to play that and then we'll kind of see where it sits with me. This might be my favorite overall. There's a lot of nostalgia feeling to it. And it's well designed as far as the levels. I mean, there's a lot to love. But I'm just not sure how much I can stay in here. Am I gonna just play just to try it out or hang with a friend, or am I gonna play it because I want to play it? And you guys will come to the stream and find out. But that's kind of where I sit with this game as my second place. And my first place is the marathon. As you can see, marathon is going to be extremely fun for me. I've loved Halo. I love Destiny. I think that Bungie is one of the greatest FPS ever. It's not even a question. But this is interesting to see how far along this game can go. Will it become the mainstream hit? Honestly, I still play games for myself, even if they're not the biggest. And so as long as I can enjoy it, I tend to play whatever I'm into. If you come to my streams, you'll see me play whatever it is. And so this definitely feels like it can be one of these big time games, but also a personal favorite just because of the Bungie element, to be honest with you. And I know that sounds like, hey, you fanboying over there. Maybe a little bit, but is that an okay? You know? But I did want to talk about my favorite of all time when it comes to extraction shooters. And if you don't know what this loading screen is, you don't know anything. All right, you're watching the introduction to the greatest extraction shooter of all time, in my opinion. I can't seem to replicate the feelings I've had when I first started playing this mode, this extraction shooter. And you're put into a world where there's an extreme virus. You're getting sent in to try to find a cure and try to fix some things. You're on a helicopter, of course, and you got to wear this hazmat suit and the mask. And I've actually had my license for asbestos as a supervisor, and that job sucks. But basically, you're wearing a hazard suit. You're sweating in there the whole time, and you have this mask where you're breathing through something. You can't even breathe normal. It's kind of like meditating in a way. And it's so intense. And then, of course, the snowstorm. You're in New York City. The snow's bad. The weather's always crazy in the winter when it does get to a snowstorm. And this is how the extraction shooter introduces you to the scenario that you're in. And spoiler alert, you crash here, of course. And apologies for this. I was recording this. I forgot. I didn't know I was recording. But basically, you injure yourself. You poke your suit. So now you're sick with the virus. Then it's freezing. So you're outside all alone. And you're put out there with no mask, you're injured, and you're trying just to survive. And you can craft things in this game. You can find items to craft. You can, find some weapons, find some medicines, find a lot of things. The intense part about this game, this is the old game. It's called The Division Part 1. And this mode is called Survival. But it was so good because, one, you're trying to get out of there. Two, you're sitting here dealing with being sick, dealing with the cold. You got to get warmer clothing. You got to try to take meds. The meds stop working if you use them too much. Then all of a sudden, you're just a hot mess. And you don't want to just keep looting and scavenging for items. And we're going to fast forward and put myself out in the world. You can see it's very intense. It's hard to see. This is New York City, and you're just trying to survive. And you'll end up, running into AI. And what's cool about this map is that in the beginning, you start off with PvE. And you're getting sent all around, trying to find your way. And then later, you can go to PvP. And you can start it off with PvP as well if you wanted to. And you'll run into players. You go to battle with them. You take them out, you take their loot. There's AI in here as well. It's pretty intense and it gets super interesting. I absolutely love it. I've pretty much almost died multiple times playing this game, and I have died many of times, but it was such an intense feeling the first times, and just in general, it's one of those things that you have to experience and stuff like that. This game is still active. I just played this week just for this video so I can show you guys. And also, by the way, the way you warm up is going to anywhere inside or start a fire somewhere if you can, or find the car that's on fire and things like that, which is not all the time. And so it's a pretty cool thing. And I do believe extraction shooters, you know, nobody even knew that this existed. I'm pretty sure if you didn't play the Division and didn't care as much, you probably missed out on this. And the truth is, it was the best extraction shooter experience I've ever had. And I hope that Division does a new version of this, because they had it down perfectly and I had me a blast. And I hope that you guys can start getting into this genre. I totally understand that it's not for everybody. And, you know, this game right here is 10 years old, so I'm not telling you to play this one. But the point is, it is something to look forward to or look into, and hope for that the genre expands in different ways and adds value to our shooters in the future. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Y'all stay safe out there. Make sure you like if this was an entertaining video. I'm gonna be doing more videos like this where I break down my perspective. All right. See you. Peace.